Hello everyone and welcome back to Electric Petrolhead. Here we have the 2020 Renault Zoe ZE50. It's a rather awesome little car this. And in true YouTuber style, here is the 5 things I really love about the new Renault Zoe. So welcome to the Zoe. I'm really liking this car. I think it's a great little Supermini and there's not a lot to talk badly about it, but watch my other video because I've done the 5 things I hate. So number 1 on my 5 things I really love about this car is, like a lot of electric cars, this has got really effortless performance. You know, you're not going to be beating Teslas off the line, but then this isn't really what the Zoe is about. The Zoe is a Supermini in size, but it seats 5, you know, and it's got a decent sized boot. You know, the frunk is all taken up with electrics, but fundamentally it's a very usable small family car. And you can understand why, like, the Renault Zoe Owners Club are full of people who really love these cars. They are great. And although on paper the 0 to 60 time of just under 10 seconds for this top spec model isn't gonna win any awards, when you actually drive the cars you realize that performance is on tap all the time because of the way the electric cars have their torque from nothing. The power is always there, and this makes for a really satisfying drive around, you know, country roads, or, you know, around the supermarket or whatever. You know, I took the car up to Leeds and, you know, did about 300 miles in a day, and it was effortless. I just sat back, just put cruise control on, and it just went, you know. The paper number, like I said, of just under 10 seconds really doesn't do it justice. I highly recommend you take one of these cars for a drive. I actually rented this car for a week from the EVEC, which is in Milton Keynes. It's an electric vehicle sort of experience centre. We can go and try these cars, and you can learn about it in a completely zero pressure environment, and I highly recommend that. You know, for just over £100 for the week, you've got 400 miles of free charging via the Polar network. You know, experience it. Don't just look at the numbers on a paper. Experience it, and it's effortless. It's really great. So point number 2 on the things I really love about this Renault Zoe ZE50 is the ride comfort. And my other sort of small car is a BMW i3, and that's quite firm, whereas this is really nicely sprung. Renaults have always had a really good reputation as handling well and being good on back roads, and the Zoe is no different. You know, you can really enjoy this car. It's got a very nice neutral handling, got all the weight down low because of the batteries, and so you can really, you know, balance that car through roundabouts at a decent speed. You know, by the name of this channel, Electric Petrolhead, I do come from a petrolhead background, so I'm looking at this as what it is, which is a small Supermini. But at the same time, you know, you could have this car and really enjoy the drive. So fair play to Renault, you've done well. So point number 3, and this is kind of following on from what I've said on the sort of first 2 points, but this is a city car. You know, it is a small car. It takes up a very small footprint. However, it's very well packaged. You've got enough luggage space. You could, my 2 girls have been in the back quite comfortably. It's a hatchback, so you can put dogs in the boot. It's a very usable car. The rear doors are great. You know, for what it is, which is a Supermini, it's really well packaged. But if you're mainly going to be using the city, or, you know, little villages and errands and things like that, but want a car that you can still drive up to Scotland in a day if you wanted to, it's just brilliant. Honestly, really fantastic car. And yeah, it was hard to fold this one. So, Renault, I'm impressed. You know, personally, I've got over 20,000 miles in Teslas. We've got the i3, but this is cool. So when you get in, obviously all this wouldn't be on, but you've got the start engine button. That brings it alive. And I put this on standby just for this, so you've got quite a cool little setup. It does have Apple CarPlay and the Android equivalent. You can have the map bigger, Sat nav's, you know, fine, it works really well. Radio, got everything. So I actually think this works really well. You've got little buttons on the steering wheel, which is awesome. And then you've got a few more buttons down here, which I can't really see. Nope, let's get on there. So you've got a few more buttons down here. These are for some of the lane assist, dip in the lights, open the charge port, and this turns on and off the pedestrian noise, which I'm going to get to in one of the 5 things I hate, because it'd be nice to have some options there. But it all works very nicely. It's quite nice having a gear stick in a traditional way. I find, you know, with the i3 where you've got it sort of twisted there, I find a bit sort of clunky. But that works well. And you've got the handbrake down here. There's actually a charging mat here for a phone. You've got a couple of USB ports, an auxiliary in, 12 volt. These, although they might look metal on the video, they're actually plastic, but I like them, you know. You know, everything works really well. I'm actually quite impressed with this little cabin. And the fact it's there and a touchscreen, that's a big bonus over the i3, which is further back and not touchscreen. Renault have actually been quite clever with this interior, and there's a lot of recycled equipment. I believe they even use old Renault seatbelts. But this fabric, as you can sort of hear on moving it, is a bit rough. And if you're a sort of driver that often sits, you know, with an elbow sort of resting as you're driving along, that's not as comfortable as well, I don't want to say leather, but you know, like some kind of substitute leather would be absolutely perfect and sort of fit in with the sort of Zoe's green credentials. But that's really minor, and it's not worth moving over into the 5 things I hate video. But yeah, other than the high driving position, which is something I do talk about in the 5 things I hate, I would prefer some height adjustment. It's great. Can't really fault this. Well done, Renault. So the final point on my views of this Renault Zoe and you know, the 5 things I really love about it is it's the complete package. It really is. The i3, for example, the rear doors will annoy some people, and the range is okay but not great. This is just going into the realm of enough range for pretty much everyone. If you're new to EVs, you'll soon learn that you don't think about range in the same way as you do as filling a petrol tank. You think about it in this term of, you know, how many miles do I do a day? And you know, you're looking at getting on for 200 miles real world range in this car. You know, 170, 175 on a motorway, because you don't get much regen on the motorway, whereas you do around town. And the regen is going to add, you know, some miles to the tank. It's a 5-door. You can get the kids in and out of the back doors really easy, which again is one of the downsides of the i3, can be a little bit annoying. You've got a decent sized boot. Got all the technology you need. It's comfortable, it's got enough power. You know, it's not a performance Supermini by any means, but it's got enough power. It's got light steering, which is going to appeal to a lot of people. Personally, I'd like a little bit more weight, but you know, that's personal preference. There's not really much you can say negatively about it. It's a really solid car, and you can understand why the demand for them is great. And also, you're coming from a company, you know, with Renault, who have got experience of, you know, the Zoe going back a number of years. They even made the Twizy, which I really like. And this just gives a really good basis to work from. And they've taken the previous generation Zoe, which was an amazing car, and giving it a little bit more modern feel, giving it some more technology, giving it more range, giving it a faster charger. This has got CCS charging, you know, that opens up so many chargers throughout Europe. Fundamentally, this is a fantastic car. Well done, Zoe. If you're an owner, you've chosen a great car. If you're thinking about buying one, please go to your Renault dealer and take one for a test drive. If you want a slightly longer drive and you're in the Buckinghamshire area, EVEC, which is where I rented this car from, this, you know, this is a car that I've spent my own money to rent. you know, EVC will look after you really well. They've got a number of Zoes on their fleet, and they can help you out with a, you know, a week-long test drive. Really get to know these cars. Do what I did. Go on a road trip, you know, and really get to understand what they're like. I'll highly recommend this car to lots of people. Yes, it doesn't quite have the, you know, the coolness, for want of a better word, of, you know, the new Mini, but then the Mini doesn't have the range, and that's a massive problem. And I want to recommend the Mini to a lot of people, but I just worry that the range is going to be a bigger hindrance than the fact it's cool and handles quite well. So if you need the full package, it's not going to be perfect on every level, but as a package, really well done, Renault. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please have a look at my channel, subscribe, and see the other videos. I've got a few little videos on this Zoe, including the 5 things I hate, which was a hard video to make because, like I said, it's a really great car. But hope you enjoyed this. See you soon. Bye.